Good morning, everybody. Welcome. If you're logging in on the replay, hang tight with me for about 3 minutes. As always, say hi in the comments, and I'm just going to hang tight a minute, wait for Jizzy to let me know he can see me. Excuse me. And then we'll just wait for everybody to log on and we'll jump right in at 7 o'clock straight up. In the meantime, make sure you say hi in the comments and just begin to breathe. Thank you, Arnell. Just begin to breathe full and slow and deep into your body. Just bring yourself really present here and just check in. What are you feeling? What are you noticing right now? As we all get together for another little 15-minute shot in the arm. And a shot of iced tea. All right, good morning. For those of you that are just logging on, I really wish Facebook would let me see who it is, but they don't. But I know you're logging on. And I will come back and see. So make sure you say hi in the comments. We're just going to hang out one more minute together while we wait for the clock to strike 7 a.m. Excuse me. All right. Everybody take one more big breath in while we're waiting for everybody. It is 7 o'clock straight up. Excuse me. So I'm going to jump right in. Again, I apologize. I still have my cough. So, good morning. I want you to just take your jumper cables like we've been doing every Magical Monday, and I just want you to close your eyes for just a moment. Right away, put your focus on the energy of your I am you, the energy of your eternal soul, the intelligence of the eternal version of you that is accessible right in your chest cavity. And I want you to breathe into that energy. And in whatever way makes sense to you right now, just sense it a little bit more. It's not something you're forcing or creating. It's eternal. It's the essence of who you are. It's the real you. And with that energy activated, with that light activated, with that intelligence activated, I want you, again, in whatever way makes sense to you, just to open your heart and your mind just a little bit more. Bring your presence to this moment just a little bit more and open yourself to pick up some nugget from something that I share with you today. And with that, you can release your jumper cables. Your heart is activated. And I just, excuse me, I want to remind you that in the message, the elder said that May is no ordinary month. And I've been thinking a lot about that since our Sacred Circle Saturday 2 weeks ago. And one of the things I keep noticing about myself these last 2 weeks and the people around me right now is how easy it is to get pulled into feeding the very things we say we don't want any more of. And I'm noticing that in myself. And I don't mean that in some big spiritual or law of attraction kind of way. I mean it in a really normal, everyday human kind of way. I've really been noticing how I wake up in the morning with a with a sense in me that I really wasn't paying attention to before this month. And maybe that's the same with you. You wake up in the morning and before your feet even hit the floor, you're already worried about something. I've been noticing how automatic it is for me to worry about money first thing before I even get out of bed. And I'm very conscious when I get out of bed. I have been for decades. But the light is getting brighter and I'm noticing things even more. Yeah, and maybe that's you. Maybe you wake up and like I was saying, even before you hit your feet hit the floor, you're already worried about something. How many of us grab the phone and check the news before we even get out of bed, brush our teeth, and use the restroom, or you check social media, or you're lying in your bed and you're replaying conversation from yesterday, or like me, you're thinking about your finances, or politics, or something that you're afraid that's going to happen or not happen in the future. All of that's happening on autopilot if we're not catching it. And I have been catching it this month way more. And I think this is really important right now because May is not an ordinary month, according to what the elders have said. It is amplifying things. May is amplifying things. And I know I've said that a lot over the last couple of weeks, but I don't think people are fully yet understanding how much this energy is accelerating what's already inside of us. It's part of the inner personal disclosure, prepping us for an even stronger outer disclosure. And all of this is because the light inside of us, not outside of us, the light inside of us is getting brighter. The I am presence has the capacity to be held in this physical body at a wattage that we've never had access to. And that's the simplest way I know how to say it. The light is getting brighter inside of us. And as this light is getting brighter, it's illuminating what's already there. And what's already there is what we are feeding with our attention every single day, unconsciously. Even those of us that think we're aware and walk in the spiritual path, unconsciously, we're feeding shit every single day. And that doesn't mean that we're doing something wrong. If fear comes up for you, or irritation comes up for you, or exhaustion comes up for you, and all of those things have been coming up for me, honestly, I think a lot of people are being way too hard on themselves for what is coming up because it's uncomfortable. So maybe you're judging yourself and ignoring it. That's not what May is about. The point is not to become some perfectly peaceful spiritual human who never gets triggered. May is about being triggered. So it's not realistic to think that we're going to become some super spiritually perfect individual and not participate in what we're being told these energies are bringing. So the real question, especially in this month, that's going to help us a lot is, what do you keep returning to once you're triggered? We're being triggered because the light's getting brighter and showing us what's already there, so we can go, oh, wait, what am I feeding? What am I feeding that's continuing to grow, that's allowing these triggers? That's the gift. That's the grace. So the deeper questions are, do you keep feeding fear? Do you keep feeding resentment? Do you keep replaying the same story over and over in your head? Do you stay in the relationships and conversations that you have beaten that dead horse in the internal conversation over and over again of how you want to end it and get out, but you don't? And I can feel it. Somebody more than somebody keeps reinforcing inside of themselves the belief that nothing can change. It's really important that we ask those questions. pay attention. What am I feeding? Because whatever we repeatedly return to, whatever we repeat is absolutely becoming stronger inside of us. Nobody gets a hall pass from that reality. And I think many people right now are accidentally strengthening the very thing or things they want freedom from. Not because you're weak, not because we're failing, just because we're unconscious to how much attention is actually feeding energy patterns and behaviors inside of us. And the month of May is not a normal month. The elder said something really important in the May message. They reminded us to notice what we're feeding with our attention. That can go over your head. Don't let it. Excuse me. They've reminded us to notice what we're feeding with our attention because, excuse me. I'm so sorry. So they've reminded us to pay attention. And like I've told you many times, when we get these messages and they told us to treat it like medicine, I really devour them. I scour them and highlight them and ask myself, what am I missing? And I've honestly been sitting with this even more, sitting with this awareness of what am I feeding? Way more than I normally do. And I felt like I was pretty in tune with what I'm feeding and with what I'm not feeding. But I've been paying attention to it even more in this month of May, and I can really feel on a new level as the light is getting brighter how different my body feels depending on what I'm feeding. There's a huge difference just for me with spending 20 minutes alone quietly sipping my hot coffee and what I feel in my body versus when I'm sitting with the same cup of coffee and I'm scrolling through my feed for 20 minutes reading stressful headlines and scrolling through people's comments, which I haven't been doing since the beginning of the year, but I kind of noticed in April I was defaulting into, and then they brought this message forward, and then I started paying attention even more. And I think that's part of what we're all learning right now, that our attention is key. Our focus matters more than we want to realize on our spiritual path. We're like, yeah. But what we repeatedly expose ourselves to, it seriously matters. And this doesn't mean avoiding reality or pretending that things aren't happening. We've already talked about this a lot. What needs to come into our awareness will come into our awareness without us feeding energetically turmoil within ourselves. And that is how we reclaim the sovereignty over our I am soul energy. And that's how we take our true power back. As the light is getting brighter inside of us, it's going to amplify what we're feeding. So it's not just about pausing when we're triggered, which has been the instruction. Notice the trigger, find the pause, use your breath, and hopefully you've been doing that. But there's more to that process. It's really time. We've got 2 more weeks in this energy. That's not normal. It's really time for us to become even more conscious of what we're repeatedly feeding ourselves, emotionally, mentally, and energetically. Some of us are feeding exhaustion because we just never stop. I've been noticing that for me. And we're all exhausted anyway because our bodies are upgrading to this energy. I've really been noticing, I'm feeding my own exhaustion on top of the exhaustion of the upgrade we're receiving because I don't stop enough. And that was hard for me to admit because I'm always on the go. Some of you are feeding fear because you're constantly rehearsing in your head the worst case scenario, and you don't even realize that's on autopilot and on repeat. And some of you are feeding resentment because you keep replaying old hurts over and over. And again, that's just unconscious on autopilot. I'm not sharing this with judgment. I'm just sharing with you as the light is getting brighter, it's bringing us into an awareness of the deeper levels of unconsciousness that we've been functioning in. And that's the gift. That's the gift. That's what we all have the potential to see even more clearly right now because the light is getting brighter inside of us. Because once something inside of us becomes visible, then we can finally work with it differently. And the whole world is being prepared to see things within themselves and with our collective in a way that we haven't been able to see it before, so we can all work with it differently as a species. But that's not the message this month. So again, once we see things and they become more visible, we can finally start to work with it differently. And that's where the breath comes back in again. And that's where the pause comes back in again. Not as some spiritual trick, but as a moment where we get to sense with the light showing us these automatic patterns, and we can bring an intentional interrupt to them and ask ourselves in that moment, what do I really want to strengthen inside of myself right now? Right now, as I'm feeling all of this, not tomorrow, not next year, right now. Is it peace? Is it clarity? Is it honesty? Is it rest? What is it? Is it courage? Is it trust? What do I want to feed right now? Because even taking one small step like that in that direction, feeding those things starts to change our inner landscape in a way that's getting magnified and amplified in this month of May that is not normal. So nobody's asking us for perfection. This isn't about bypassing. This isn't about forcing positivity. This is just truly becoming more conscious, where we're on autopilot, repeating these unconscious patterns that are growing inside of us on an amplified level because the light's getting brighter. It's like the sun makes whatever there, weeds or roses, grow that much stronger. And we're coming into a deeper level of understanding that from the intelligence of our I am you. That's where I'm going to leave you today, beautiful soul. Let's do it one more time. Let's put our jumper cables on our I am command center. And I just want you to slowly inhale. And as you exhale, feel the light inside of you getting brighter. Do it again. Breathe in. As you exhale, feel the light inside of you getting brighter. You're not broken. You're becoming more aware. And in that awareness, if we meet it with honesty and compassion, everything can begin to change. And it is. It is changing. You're changing. Stay in this awareness. Let the magic of this month of May that's not normal energetically show you what it'll show you in the brightness of the light that is you, that's getting brighter, so you can see yourself more clearly from your I am you. All right, that's where I'm going to leave you today. Let's keep moving forward together, all right? I love you tons. There's only love for you here. Bye for now.